Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a comic book review on Absolute Batman number 4. So if you guys have not had a chance to check out our previous comic book reviews on Absolute Batman number 1, 2, and 3, I would highly recommend you guys go and check out those previous comic book reviews on the other issues of Absolute Batman that we did, because that way you guys can understand how we feel about those issues as compared to this one. So we are essentially one more book away from finishing the first arc of Absolute Batman, written by Scott Snyder with art by Nick Dragotta for 4 out of the 5 issues. Because fun fact about this issue, Nick Dragotta did not do art for it. It was actually someone different. Apparently he was sick or something from what I remember.
They gave it to like a 5-year-old. That's what they did.
They gave it to a guy in the Philippines who was drawing on a crayon or some shit out of a Scholastic
Didn't
book.
work for $5 a page.
So far, I think we like Absolute Batman, even with issue 4's art being just horrendous. Just being honest here, the art was
not
so
good.
unbelievably
That might
bad.
be my favorite story out of it.
Yeah, it's saved by the writing.
Yeah, the writing definitely saved it, because the art is so unbelievably bad. I could understand why people didn't like this. And I think they didn't like it just because of the art. The story here is fine. My only real issue with it is I feel like they could have just told it quicker, but it's a fine story either way. It feels like it was trying to be Batman Year One, which is written by Frank Miller, but the art just didn't complement it in that way. You know, it was trying to be this like noir crime book, which is what Batman is, obviously. But the art was just, oh my God. There was a page in here I was cringing at. Oh my God. Look at this, guys. Look at that. That's trash.
Yeah,
thin.
The only problem I have with that is everybody wants, like, you know, they want depth of character. They don't want these thin, but whenever they give it to you, they're like, God, this just could have been told over 2 pages. This just could have been done this way. And they're just retelling this story, and it's like, dude, everything has to start somewhere. Like, anybody who tells an origin story now and like has Batman trying to figure it out, they're gonna be like what you said, like Frank Miller Year One. That's what it is. And that's what, you know, it's like, dude, do you think he just like went out on that first mission and was able to grapple on it and could get every guy, and he was like, fucking A, dude, I'm gonna go bang out some bitches now?
Well, you know,
and no, that's not how it worked.
That's what I did. After I was being Batman, I went and banged some bitches.
Plus, you know, Scott Snyder, like this Batman's different because his mother survived, was not part of the deal. The dad was a teacher.
Yes.
And it was much more of a random act, and he knew who the killer was. So you have to try to explain his motivations, how he came to where he is right now, what makes him tick. And this does a really beautiful job of using the situation with his father, where he's working with his dad on the science project, and then to his very beginnings, and then almost to present. And I'm not sure if it's present, but it feels like pretty close to where they're at in the present. And I really enjoyed it. I think Scott Snyder writes the best Batman right now. And I think he understands the character on a really crazy level. And I really liked how they did the pacing on this, how they worked all three together. Like, you know, how even that first Batman attack is kind of reflects Bruce's first attempt on the bridge when he was, you know, and it's just like how he got there. It's I really liked it. I thought
I
it was
agree.
really well done.
I 100% agree, because it gives you the feeling of what you already knew from Batman, and you already have that in your brain, and they're doing it from a different way, obviously, but you still have that connection to Bruce Wayne and what, like you said, what his motivations are. Where is he going to go from here? How is he going to get from what we saw in the first 3 issues to the scene we saw in the zoo? Where does this all go? And I thought it hinged a lot upon him building the bridge. You see this model to this model to this model. You also saw this Batman to this Batman to this Batman.
Yeah.
So as he was the thing that he dreads the most in his life, his dad getting killed. You know, we saw him building the first bridge, and he's like, look, this is what this is based on. And he puts the rocks on it, and it's like, fuck, I got to do a new one. So you see him go out as Batman, and he bites a person. He's like, that shit ain't going to work. And then the next one, you know, he builds a new bridge. And then he's like, fuck, this ain't going to work. And he throws away the gun. And you see all the things that we know as Batman, especially in this absolute universe, you see where it comes from. And I thought that, like you said, I thought it was actually really good writing.
I wanted to take it from a perspective from where the last issue left off, because the last issue left him off where Black Mask was going to offer him the money to be like, hey, you need this money. I want you to stop doing what you're doing. And the reason why he was contemplating it is because he feels, at least in the first 3 issues, that I'm kind of in over my head. I don't really think I can do it. He was looking at the scope of what all this really means later on when Alfred was talking to him. And it feels like with this book, at least with issue 4, they were tying into the notion where it hit at the end of the book, where bats can kind of overcome everything. They're the smallest mammal with all these different attributes with them. And it got to a point now where he realizes, yeah, he might be a little outmanned, outgunned, outmoneyed, but if he kind of just, he's trying to figure out at the core of himself who he really is, can he overcome this? And he even overcame not wanting to talk to Joe Chill, who obviously killed his dad. He eventually got over that at the end of the book. We'll see how it plays out in issue 5. But I feel like it just kind of picked up where the last book left off in a backstory way, which kind of got him to be in the mindset where he is going to end up at issue 5. Like, he's not going to take the money, guys. To be honest, it's
like
not
like how he's sitting there thinking about it, right? Thinking about taking the money. It's like he's almost having his life flash before his eyes and all the decisions he made to get to where he is. And it's like, and you see it, and I thought that it was brilliant the way, like I said, what they show him build this bridge and then this Batman. That didn't work. Go this bridge. It's exactly what he got to, and he overcame everything. And he thought that money could do so much for Batman, right? But if he takes it, is he any better than the murderers on the street? Because look at the people that have been murdered because of the party animals. And if he takes it, he's just as bad as they are. It's a symbolism with him throwing away the gun. If you accept the money, you basically accepting the gun. So yeah. I thought it was smart.
It's Scott Snyder doing his best, you know. Like, I don't love everything he does. I didn't like the Batman, the Metal Justice League. I didn't really like that, but Court Owls, I think, is a masterpiece on a lot of levels. And I think this here is some of his best. This is him kind of doing Batman, but he's not held down by any canon, so he's getting to mold the story himself. And it's like, you know, when you let one parent live, it's almost to the point where it's like, well, why is he even Batman at this point? You see, he has his mom, you know. And then, but no, you're starting to see, no, there is a reason why. The almost obsessive compulsive nature that this Bruce Wayne has, that's on display even more than some of the older ones. Like Batman, the main universe was like, yeah, his parents died, went on a world adventure, learned a bunch of cool shit, came back and been Batman. This is much more of like down to dissecting of how he became the way he is and what the decisions he made to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really well done.
Yep.
Yeah, it's almost as if like you're just going to a psyche. Every single book, it feels like you're tapping into a different part of it. Like the first book was like, he likes to be a lone ranger, but he's really calculated. The second book was like, okay, he's learned all these skills. Now he has this big, massive Batmobile. The third book was, he has all these skills. He can do all this stuff, but he's at a disadvantage because he's not the rich Bruce Wayne. In this book, it goes, okay, his dad told him, at your core, what do you want to be? Because his dad tells him that story of like, well, I wanted to be a heart surgeon because dad told him the backstory of his grandpa. His grandpa just dropped dead, essentially, which is holy fuck. Why is everyone in his family always dropping dead? But his grandpa ended up dropping dead, and the dad felt like I wanted to be a heart surgeon. I should have saved him, but he felt like at his core, that's not what he could have done to be the best version of himself. You know, it was a really great story. I mean, literally, it's awesome. I just wish, hey, DC, if you're gonna get someone to take someone's place because maybe he was sick, Yeah, don't hire someone from the Philippines who will work for 2 pennies for a page. This looks actually like shit. And we're paying how much for this? How much are you paying for this book? $5.99? $4.99?
Don't ask. I bought like 4 different covers, so don't ask.
Laps, stop, stop, please. You're that variant merchant that they're trying to get in their scheme.
It's not that they're trying to get. They've already had me, dude. They've had me for years. They had dude, if I see a variant cover of a book that I don't even really care about, I'm still like, oh, look at that.
They got this, man, guys. Also, toward the end of it, as we go through the story eventually, the inner monologuing into his brain is really unique, honestly, and the way he talks about the Falcones and the Maronis later on, and oh god, no, it was really great. I can't wait to see how this is going to cap off at issue 5. Do you guys honestly think after this first arc, the next arc's going to be as good, or do you think it might get a little? Oh, it's not say stale. It might not be as good as the first arc, or you think it's going to just kind of like maybe teeter off? That's what a lot of people think right now. It's going to start out really, really good.
I think it's going to blow up because I think
at
the end of this arc, Joker is going to enter, and we get to see this new kill the entire, Ra's al Ghul's entire group. Doesn't laugh Joker that Scott Snyder's writing, and he does some of the best Joker Batman stuff. So it's like,
and we got to think this Joker is like rich. He's an entirely different Joker.
Yeah, he's almost like Batman, but
right.
Assassin. Yeah,
right.
Oh,
so it's going to be interesting, and that's and the play that Alfred's been chasing this dude for like 4 or 5 years, and he got taken off of that case. So like we don't know how that might team up Bruce and Alfred. That might be the Bruce and Alfred that come together because, dude, you don't know what you're dealing with here, Bruce. You might have dealt with the party animals, but now you're dealing with something that you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's going to pop off after this arc. I think it's going to be just everyone's going to be talking about it.
This feels like that episode of TV where the character just needs that moral motivation to move forward and go, okay, this might be kind of crazy to tackle this, but we're going to do it anyway because I can do it. It's awesome.
I think Scott Snyder
might feel cliche, but it's fine.
I think he did it smart because he gave us, Black Mask. It's not really a big villain, but he made it a threat because the whole city had been taken over. And then he took the ground level guys, the Falcones, the Maronis, stuff like that, and was just like, you're done. That's out of here. That's done. And you were able to establish that over so many books. And just having one page of the Joker gets you into the whole mindset of, it's coming. When is it coming? So anybody who thinks it's going to go down, I don't see how you think that whenever we've already seen that Scott Snyder can write Joker pretty well, in my opinion.
And if you notice this arc, issue 1, 2, 3, and now 4, issue 1, 2, and 3 really do mirror what issue 4 is doing. Like you said earlier, MSK was like the issue 1, he learns this. We're watching Batman become Batman in this first arc. And then once he becomes Batman, now he gets his greatest test, which will be the new Joker coming in. So it's really, this is just the precursor. This is like the part where in Predator, where Dutch and his guys go through and they take out that camp. And then the Predator starts coming in. Well, that's the second act. That's when Joker comes in and just starts wrecking shit. So I think that this is just going to be, this is the nice warm up. You get to learn who Batman is. He's discovering who he is. And then once he does, here comes in the Joker and just fucks everything.
It even feels like he's becoming a better Batman in real time as well too. Like he's just going to improve better too, which is fine.
And
I like that
we still have the trump card of how this universe was created. They have to interact with that somehow.
Oh no, they will. Yeah.
Well, of course. So that's what I'm saying. I only think that it could now, whether it goes like Warren said, he didn't like the Dark Knights. I don't know which one you didn't like. I liked regular Dark Knights metal, but Death Metal went completely bananas. Like it was so bananas and off the wall. I started not liking the regular Dark Knights metal because of how much Batman Who Laughs they just made so much of it. Like, you know what I mean? And it was just like, ugh, you're ruining something that was cool. It was cool at first. But like, I hope it doesn't go the realm of death metal. I hope we don't get a Perpetua and a Source Ball and a freaking everything. This just needs to be grounded and based, but at the same time, show us something brutal. It needs to be brutal too. It has to be, because they've already established when Batman freaking, connects a freaking thing to his chest and cuts a dude's arm off. You gotta where can you go from there if you're not killing people? You know what I mean? So you need to remain brutal as Batman. And I think, like you said, if they do go right into Joker, dude, that could be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right, let's go over Absolute Batman issue number 4. So it starts off with Bruce Wayne in a courthouse to testify against Mr. Joe Chill. The judge asks him, "What do you want to say?" And then later on, we get that. But that's just
I think it's more not
it.
testifying against him. I think it's more like after everything's done, the family gets to say something.
Sure. Yeah,
I think it's just Bruce wanted to tell him something.
Yeah,
what he ends up wanting to tell him.
So then we get basically the book fluctuates between the backstory all the way into basically the present time to give him his moral motivation to continue in issue 5. You do finally get to see him interact with his dad more in his past, obviously, because we mostly seen him interact with his mom, actually, who's still alive. But it was nice to see him, interact with his dad. And you could tell how much he really loved his dad. So him not being there really, really fucked him over. And, so he tries to take down a bunch of thugs. He appears as a bat. The good Lord.
And it was nice to see him, and Warren, you might think this, I'm not sure. It was nice to see him interact with his dad where it wasn't single moments of, here's your lesson of the day.
Yeah.
It was multiple conversations.
It was actually nice dialogue. It wasn't
very
just like,
nice,
"Hey, son."
natural dialogue.
Yes.
It was very, very good.
We always got Thomas Wayne. It's like, yes, we know he loved him, but Bruce, when you're dealing with a situation that's like a heart, and it's like and it was just like, okay, cool. He was a wise guy, but you never got the grounded reality. Here's me and Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
at least that's how I feel about
the
it.
dialogue. Didn't feel like, "Hey, son, yeah, I know you didn't get that girl at school, but you'll get her next time." That dialogue is not going to happen in 2025, guys. Sorry about that. "Hey, Johnny, you didn't get that apple from the ground. Go get a grape, or a banana and shove it up your ass." But all right.
So there's a lot of great character building. You learn the character of Thomas Wayne more than just him being this kind of good advice giver at opportune times,
Yes.
So after that, he tries to take the thugs down in a certain way. He ends up biting one of them like a bat, and that didn't go so well. They tried shooting at him. Obviously, that didn't work. Then it goes to another flashback. So these are like that one Saw movie, just flashbacks and flashbacks and flash forwards, but it's fine. They actually pace it out, and it's narratively structured very well. So after that flashback, we go into a further flashback where he's talking to his dad about the science project, and then it goes forward again about how he really kind of messed up grappling on the ledge right there.
Well, even before that, dude, he takes the gun from the dude and points it right at his head. Like, he was fully willing to commit to that. And that was a choice that he had to make in that moment in time. Is this where I'm going with where I'm taking my vengeance? Is this what I'm going to do?
And then after that, we get another flash forward to a point where, kind of where he's in his mind right now about how he learned everything and about what he was thinking about doing, about how he was scoping out Gotham. Then after that, we get him kind of learning, okay, if I'm going to be this, I need to have vehicles. I need to be strong. I need to be faster. So he had a smaller Batmobile, but he realized, wait a minute, this is probably not going to be enough to take down these people. That's probably where we got the bigger one later on. It's like, I'm going to need a bigger boat. He should have said that. He should have fucking said that, man. Holy shit. So he ends up getting he gets to end up apprehending those villains right there. Then you go back into the past again. He goes back to his childhood where his dad talks to him. So his dad basically said his grandpa died in front of him. And then he felt like, okay, he wanted to be a heart surgeon to save his dad because he felt like he couldn't do anything in that moment. But he felt like once he ended up having his wife getting pregnant with Bruce, he felt like I would be better at my core being a teacher. And Bruce right there is learning about how to make this science project, but Bruce doesn't really know how to tweak it better. And that's where you get the teacher moment at, which is awesome.
Well,
the dialogue was
right,
great,
right.
honestly.
If you look at what reflected in Thomas Wayne's stories,
Yeah.
it also reflected in what Bruce was doing right there at the time, but it also reflected in what he was doing as Batman.
Mhm.
Like everything tied together and came from this. Like, so, like I said, like here, he's building the second of his bridges, right? And his dad comes in, he's like, oh yeah, that idea works better. So what does he do with his Batman? Oh, this idea works better. I'll get rid of this thing that I was doing. Now I'm doing this idea. And it's every single time he comes back and learns something new, he applies it to what he uses as Batman. And it's very, I don't know, I just liked it. I thought it was very well
You know what's
done.
crazy? Only really Scott Snyder could probably do this, because there's a lot of writers that would mess up having this many flashbacks and flash forwards and flashbacks and flash forwards in someone's past and someone's head. Like, it's really hard to jumble all that from a mind perspective. Like, as you know, in our thoughts, we have so many different directions our mind's thinking, like in any potential moment. So I feel the balance was very good. And then after that, we have him potentially go over more with this moment. This is the moment, if I forget if I'm wrong, was the moment Mr. Chill wanted to make a statement at this point. And basically Bruce didn't really want to give a statement on that, from what I remember, right? But he felt like when he was with his dad at the zoo, he felt like that moment was perfect. And I was like, you know what? Not crying. Not going to do it. No,
he's
not doing
basically
it.
saying, like, I know Mr. Chill gets to say something, but I'm going to tell you this before you even get to say it.
So then you have another flash forward to when he's older, when he was like discovering Gotham and trying to figure out the people and everything. But then he basically says, you know, what's the part where he's saying to Chill? He says, you killed that happiness, Mr. Show, forever. So I'm not staying for anything you have to say. I don't care what made you do what you did. I just need you to know that I hate you. That's
and
it.
I love how they're like, Mr. Wayne, how dare
How
you? It's
dare-
like, man, shut the fuck up.
I would, yeah, go suck a fucking dick.
He
If that person
he
killed my dad,
like, what? I don't get to tell him that I hate him. Is that gonna hurt the murderer?
oh god. But this is how you. I know I love Scott Snyder, but you know he voted for Kamala Harris, and that side of the aisle, they kind of like criminals. I don't know, someone that goes.
I'm
and
not going to
murders.
say he voted for Kamala Harris. Like,
He
Jesus
did.
Christ.
He posted on
I'm
Twitter.
sure
he did.
I'm sure
Yeah.
he did, but I'm not going to say that from that.
No, I'm not saying as a knock against him.
That happens in real court.
Oh god. So
Happens in real court.
Watch a
I'm
serial
sure he
killer's
did.
court case, and you'll watch a whole string of family members
Yeah.
calling him an asshole in a row before they do the sentencing. It's like this period between the sentencing time
Yeah.
period where the criminal can speak, and also families and other people can speak too.
So then after that, because throughout the book, as you guys have known, as we've said, it goes in his head between the past, where he currently might be at his brain, to another part in his brain, and it goes to the next part in his brain where basically his dad is teaching him about how to tweak his invention, and then it tweaks to the point where he's now tweaking his inventions as Batman. It's very hard to do that. That was awesome to see Scott Snyder jumble all those narratives in someone's brain. That's actually impressive, you know? Then after that, he gets this this is called the bridge, right? He got it to, or was it a bat? I forgot what it's called. But he did manage to get it working.
It's a bridge it's a mobile bridge that can be sent into like impoverished areas.
Yeah, disaster zones or something.
Right.
Okay,
And it's
gotcha.
got like, but it's under. He made it under the guise in the design of a bat, because he believes that bats are, you know,
Yeah.
the most, all the shit that he said. I can't
Well,
remember
then
everything.
the moral, the lesson in the entire book was that understanding what the bat was at its core,
Core.
and it
Yeah.
reflects that to understanding what Batman is at his core. The first attempt of the bridge was this really rigid, intimidating structure. He was doing, well, I'm Batman, so I'm going to drink blood and I'm going to do all this stuff. And he did the screech when he jumped. He was like,
Yeah,
screech,
he totally did. Scream.
you know? Yeah. So it was Bruce. It's mirroring Bruce figuring out what's at the core of being Batman through what's being the core of this bridge. So at the end, he's like, I built a bridge that the people can extend out, that they have control over, that they can use the way they feel they need to. And then at the end, it's like, well, what's special about a bat? It defies the impossible, which you said most likely will be issue 5, will be him telling Black Mask to buzz off with the money, and he does the impossible and stops him, you know.
Oh, also to mention, because
Very well
I'll
said.
have to probably say this now because to go back to this. So there's a part in the next page, and I'll have to flip it back. The point where this part is very important, which was he says it even has secret buzzsaws for those hard to reach places. Now, before you read that, you'll have seen him get into these hard to reach places because he learned how to basically, utilize his stealth very well, about how to basically kind of get his equipment to hear what they're talking about, so he can kind of understand where to hit them at, if they were ever going to do anything shady or where they're going to be at actually.
Right. Well, if you look in the page directly before that, that's what he's using in the hands with the hooks. Remember whenever, like in the first book where he was sending out his cloak and it was just whipping people? And we actually see what that is now.
Oh,
it's connected to his hands. And
story? Crazy.
And that's like where he was able to get, he uses that not only to fight, but he also uses that to get into places.
Yeah. Then you get the last part of where the book is at, where the cops are trying to take him down. The part where it says, and what makes a bat at its core for me, is that it defies the impossible. Pretty nice, pretty solid there. But yeah, typical DC always has to ruin it with an ad. DC, why can't this just be fucking next to the other ad? But fucking hell, whatever, man. So then after that, fully embraces himself as Batman right here. But then the book ends with him going to the correctional facility, as they call them, which is just jail, to talk to Joe Chill, the person that he didn't want anything to do with at the beginning part of the book. I'll be honest here, given the narrative of the book set up before that, I wouldn't talk to him. There has to be a damn good reason to book fight why you talk to that guy. I would talk to anybody that murdered my parents.
He said, I'm not going to stay here and listen to what he had to say. Mm-hmm. And at the end of this book, he's like, all right, well, you had something to say. What the fuck?
Yeah,
was it?
no,
yeah.
And I like the book, but let's be honest here. If this ever happened, we're never talking to someone that killed their parents. That's never happening. I wouldn't even need
that's happened quite a bit.
I know. Yeah.
He might end up forgiving him.
Oh, hell. Because
the core of Batman is much bigger than his own hate. So it might be one of those things where it's like, I got to let this hate go. So I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, but you never know.
Yeah, but we don't know. I mean, he could listen to what he has to say and still hold, this, I'm never going to forgive you, but I'm still going to hear what you have to say. I don't know. We don't know yet.
It's Snyder, so I'm guessing it's going to be good.
Yeah, that's just on my own personal preference. I hope he doesn't forgive this guy. Fuck that guy. We know how much he loved his dad.
Yeah, but I mean, he's forgiven him in many different books. It's happened many times.
Forgive him, and since it's Batman, it's very brutal. Forgive him technically, and then kick him off a boat and soak him in blood.
Pay the guard to beat him later. No,
I'm saying, he could put him on a boat.
There is something about hate will end up destroying you. It is the mission of vengeance and hate. You will eventually end up just destroying you. So Batman's got to be more than just a tool of vengeance. It's got to be a symbol.
Yeah, it's happened in so many different books or / continuities.
So you also get the last part where
he says R word. He said Batman cannot let go. That's how Bane broke his back. No, Bane broke his back because he had unleashed a shit ton of villains. That ran down ragged.
Yeah.
All
and already knew who he was and was just like, you know what? I'm gonna make you fucked over, and then picked him up and smashed him.
Just wanted to say this one here is very important too, where he said it's the only mammal on Earth that flies, Dad. The only one. It's this crazy little creature that shows us we can beat anything holding us down. To this bat, nothing is impossible despite what anyone tells you. It says go bigger, go higher. So I guess with this newly found motivation, hopefully now we can take down Black Mask in issue number 5. But that's pretty much it. I mean, you get this little interview with Jeremy Adams that you guys can read on your own. But the point is first of all, DC, who did this quality control? We're literally halfway done with the biggest narrative of the book, which is trying to tie it in. No, ad. Take that ad and shove that shit right where the interview is at. What is wrong with you? You're immersed in the book, and this fucking company just Go read Jeremy Adams' Aquaman. Oh, well, thank you for butt fucking me as I'm trying to read this great ending to this book. You fucking dumb company. Holy shit, DC.
When I reread this today,
It was over.
I hate
What?
you. I hate you.
It was over, dude.
No, you don't.
What's wrong
You don't
with
get
you?
it. You don't get my white rage.
Let's not advertise our other books
Because
in this
I
really
hate
hot
you're
selling book.
fucking gaslighting me. They could have just did it when the narrative's over, not when I'm trying to understand who the guy is. But it's okay. It's okay. I have the tools to cope with whatever life
He
throws. at
said, "Understand who the guy is."
me. God, I hate
There's
you.
just too much not understanding in this Batman book. It's so many colors.
Every ad. Put that shit in the back of the book. I don't want that shit breaking my
get you.
narrative.
I get you on that. I get
God.
you. That's
It's
understandable.
okay. It's fine.
But
I have the tools to cope. I'm just kidding. But all right, to wrap this up, before we get to something else on this, when you guys are watching this live, but if you're watching this pre-recorded, thank you for getting this far. If you did, Warren, what are your final thoughts and opinions on Absolute Batman issue number 4?
aside from the art, really, really great writing, really great storytelling. I like this Batman, and I like what Scott Snyder's doing. I hope he doesn't go to death metal level, but you know, I hope he keeps on board. And I'm all in. I'm gonna read this all the way through.
All right,
Yeah, me too. Me too.
that's it.
I feel the same way he does. I said it from the beginning.
Yeah, awesome. As you guys know, for me, it's been a fun, enjoyable ride for this Absolute Batman so far. We're gonna be wrapping up Absolute Batman. Hopefully, we can end up wrapping up Absolute Wonder Woman, and then we'll just dive through Absolute Superman. And the reason why he's last is because that's the one I've heard the worst things about. So, you know, kind of want to save the potential worst one for last.
Well,
Good God.
it's not bad. It's not bad. It just, for me, the Superman book, like it just deals too much with the Krypton, and I'm like, he's already over here. I don't really care about over here. They get really deep into the society of how Krypton works in this universe, and it's like it's almost reminds me of like a weird Charlton Heston movie, you know, like where it's like Soylent Green, almost like
It's people.
right, like where it's like
people.
you over here, you work in the fields, and you over here, you are the science part of the community, and you over here, you're the teachers, and the science part of the community, you are the highest of us all, and we must listen to you. Even
are
if
you
you
saying
are
they're
fucking idiot.
segregating people in Absolute Superman? But nevertheless, so
Yes.
far,
100%.
Scott Snyder delivering great on Absolute Batman. Can't wait to wrap up this first arc with a nice little finale that we're gonna have here when we review that. But yeah, we'll see where this goes with Absolute Batman. He's big, tall, rich, good looking, and handsome, just like me. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're signing out, guys. See you guys later. Goodbye. Peace.